off and whatever. My dad was a big, powerful guy, and we would have conflict. The kind of thing where, he would get drunk and tear the Vent-A-Hood off out of the kitchen and throw it through the windows. It was that kind of thing. And when you live with that, it changes who you are. You're a kid, and you see violence between he and your mother, and you see all of that kind of thing, and you're the only boy in the family. I had 3 sisters and a mother. And when dad spools up like that and you're the only boy in the house, you stand in the gap, right? You step in to protect the women. And that led to a lot of conflict.
How'd that affect you?
Again, I got to the point of realizing you rely on yourself.
Your dad was a big influence in your life.
He was, both negative and positive. And negative in that he was a bad alcoholic, and I haven't had a drink in 50 years because I saw what it does, and I don't do it. He was also the hardest working man I've ever seen in my life. He was a Trojan. There was nothing the guy would not do. And, he gave me a tremendous work ethic. And I really thank him for that. I learned that, if you want something, you work for it. Nobody's going to give you anything.
You were an athlete. You were on the football team?
I was.
My understanding is you may not have even graduated high school if it weren't for sports.
Not a chance would I have graduated.
So football, in many ways, is why you're here today.
I certainly wouldn't have graduated high school, I can tell you that.
You were a middle linebacker.
Yeah, worst job I've ever had. Let me tell you, I've had some jobs. That's at the top of the list.
Because?
Well, I was a middle linebacker, and I was a really poor one. It's a hard job anyway.
Because you get hit every play.
Exactly, and if you're not very good at it, it's a really hard job. There's a tendency for those who mix psychology and religion, who know just enough to be dangerous, to use psychology as a weapon to judge.
You, in many ways, got interested in psychology because of football. When you guys lost to the Salvation Army team.
That's it.
And you started thinking that there's a psychology of success on these teams.
Well, you have done your homework. We had a really good team, and we had really good and we had really good coaches, and shiny helmets. Blue jeans instead of football pants, loafers, just slip-on shoes, and none of their helmets matched. And they just looked like ragtag. Harvey, they beat us so bad, I can't even tell you how bad they beat us. We were watching them run up and down the field. It looked like a track meet. Those guys wanted it. Those guys had the eye of the tiger. They wanted it, man. And I got focused at that point on what makes people a champion. And I got focused on why people do what they do and don't do what they don't do. And I have been focused on that since that day. That's why I'm sitting here today.
Tell me what that is.
Well,
I've seen a gavel or two in my life.
Yeah, my son Jay gave me this actually. And this is the actual gavel from the first rap in the pilot for Bull, which is the drama on CBS.
Which is really about your life running the jury consulting service.
It is. This is inspired by my career as a trial scientist before I did the Dr. Phil show.
Out of this jury pool, you're gonna get 3 not guilty votes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You got your degree. Why practice with your dad? Because you had a problematic relationship.
I did, and it was very important to him. He just had this dream of, father and son, doctor and doctor working together. And, frankly, my mother asked me to do it. For you to be fighting and yelling and screaming in front of these kids. They don't deserve that.
No, they don't. Absolutely
And that means
not.
the two of you need to grow up and behave yourselves.
You talk to millions of people now, but when you practiced, it was one-on-one psychology. Did you like it?
I was the worst marital therapist in the history of marital therapy. I was absolutely the worst, honest to God.
Why?
Because I had no patience for it. I mean, a couple would come in and they would start arguing back and forth, and 10 minutes in, I'm like, my God, no wonder you people can't get along. I've been with you 10 minutes, I can't stand either one of you. You should definitely get a divorce. You should definitely get a divorce. I can't imagine going home with either one of you people. And I would say that.
Oh my God.
So
What was the divorce rate like? Did it
very
spike?
high, very high. I think people came to me to get a divorce. Like, you want to get rid of this ass? Let's go see Dr. Phil. I mean, it was Dr. McGraw back then, not Dr. Phil, but
You didn't like whining,
not at all.
and people whined.
Yeah, the people, they don't want to own what they need to own, and they want to blame somebody else, and I don't have much time for that.
The trial company you started was Courtroom Sciences, Inc., CSI. I'm a lawyer, and I'm fascinated by these services because I think, honestly, in the O.J. Simpson case, I think that trial company won the case for them by the jury they picked. But you said something so interesting. There's a huge difference between telling the truth and telling the truth effectively. Explain that, because I think that's profound.
Well, here's the thing. I would rather have a weak fact pattern well told than a great fact pattern poorly told. In any case, you've got a universe of 1,000 facts. And out of those 1,000 facts, there's a subset of 10 or 12 facts that are going to be outcome determinative. That's what the jury